become their allies. Now, our first speaker needs little attention and it needs little introduction. Art Dubin is a lifelong member of Temple Israel. Art is a fixture here as an usher at services and events. By his own description, he has Asperger's. He is a country music enthusiast, and he works at Pickles and Rye Deli. I am thrilled to introduce you to Country Art and the amazing story of his being different.
Hi, my name is Art Dubin, and some know me as Country Art for my love and deep knowledge of country music. In fact, I have visited Nashville and been to the Grand Ole Opry nearly 40 times. I also listen to its radio broadcast every week. If that's not commitment to something, I'm not sure what is. Before I share my story, let me start by thanking Rabbi Josh and all the clergy and staff at Temple Israel for helping to create this wonderful service. It's an experience as unique as many of the people in this room. For all of you to enjoy a service with your loved ones, regardless of their extreme talents, or as some sadly see it, their limitations. My childhood began in 1969, not quite an era with a deep focus on diversity and inclusion. My parents, Howard and Susan Dubin, were the best I could have asked for. And little did they know at that time the passion and power they would have to help shape my future through their advocacy and involvement in helping me be my absolute best. As a child, I was very similar to others, yet different in so many ways. I grew up very close to my brother, grandparents, cousins, aunts, and uncles. My family were, and in many cases still are, my closest friends. They all understand me, and I credit my parents with helping to educate everyone with who I am. Just another member of the family as important as everyone else. Matt and I could not have been more different from each other growing up. I collected baseball cards and loved television. Yes, I know a lot about old game shows and television shows. I'm available after Yom Kippur to answer any of your questions. Matt played hockey and was often out with his friends. Despite our differences, we shared something very important in common. We had parents who made sure we each got to pursue our different passions, talents, and interests growing up. That helped shape who we are today as individuals and as brothers who say I love you every time we end a phone call with each other. My parents were very aware of my abilities and differences from many other kids. They advocated for me to get the best possible services in school and summer camps. I had some of the best teachers in elementary school, many of whom I still keep in touch with, thanks to social media, and that they occasionally visit me at my job. My parents kept me in the public school system through elementary school, and in 6th grade is when I joined a new school called Adventure. There were about 11 students in the entire school, including me, when I started going there. It was exactly what I needed, a very small classroom where I could get the individualized learning I needed to succeed, and a friendly environment where I could make friends, and I stayed there through high school graduation. That tiny school in Birmingham, which was my launch pad to success, is now called Eaton Academy. I was in Eaton's very first graduating class. I'm a proud graduate who to this day attends their annual galas, and so proud of the amazing experience it gives kids of all different learning needs. To my parents, it probably felt like an experiment. But sometimes kids like me need to try something different to find their niche. And from there, I went on to pursue an associate's degree in culinary arts from Oakland Community College. And that helped me on my path to culinary success. If I may say so myself, I'm probably the best known and most successful restaurateur in this area who never actually owned a restaurant. And that works out just perfectly for me. I love cooking. It's been my passion for as long as I can remember. I have worked at many of the area's most popular restaurants. Some have been small, where I get to work on a variety of things, including taking time to say hello to many of the guests who I know. Aside from cooking, I also love being a host. At home and at work, it gives me great pleasure to see others enjoying my food. However, working in a restaurant isn't always easy for me. I have a real fear of sharp machinery, so I have to be extra careful. That fear, along with not having great confidence in my balance, can be a recipe for disaster. But I know my limits, and I make sure those I work with also know my limits. That's one way I advocate for myself. And remember my awesome parents? Even at my age of 54 years young, my dad still reminds me to speak up for myself at work. I have a lot of wonderful friends. They range from people I grew up with, friends I made at Temple, former teachers, and even people I have met around the country through my love of country music. Some of my friends have unique strengths, just like me, and others are just like many of you, normal as they say. The best part is that they all understand who I am and respect me for my strengths and unique qualities. But it's not always easy for me. I don't drive. My parents encouraged me to, when I was old enough to drive, but I genuinely did not enjoy it. So you could say that I chose that limitation. It does result in some challenges, but I make it work. I live close to my job and have wonderful friends and family who are always willing to help me get around. I love Temple Israel. My family and I joined the temple in 1978. It's always been a safe place for me to be myself. It's a community where everyone is included and a place where I feel right at home. I serve on many committees, and I have led the ushers for about 25 years now. It's a responsibility I take seriously because I know the temple counts on me. I also play a very important role in organizing our annual activities to support those who rely on housing shelters. I don't do that for any recognition. I do it because I love helping others who are less fortunate. I play an important role here at Temple, and so can anyone in this room. So there you have it. That's my story in a nutshell. I hope you found this to be meaningful and inspiring, perhaps feeling a little hope. We all have challenges, and when you are surrounded by friends and family and a community like Temple Israel, you can accomplish whatever you dream of. I want to leave you with this thought. Being inclusive is not tolerating. It's unconditionally embracing and welcoming everyone, regardless of their abilities. By welcoming all of you into this service, you're now experiencing what it means to be inclusive. And doesn't it feel good? Thank you.